No.
It's recording.
All
I'm assuming
right.
you're
Say it again.
recording, assuming you're ready.
Yep, ready.
Okay.
All right,
Do you want
everyone.
it? Go ahead.
Thank you. Today is Thursday, May 15th, 2025. This is the Leadership Committee meeting. My name is Rich Reynoso. I'm the vice chair. My left.
I'm Sandra Unger. I'm the chair of the Health and Social Services and Bylaws.
Veronica Castro, treasurer, and sitting in as co-chair of economic development.
Cynthia Rodriguez, Chair of the Board.
Larry Santillo, Sergeant at Arms.
Jeanette Wilson, acting chair of ethics.
Alex Ellison, Chairman of the Education, Culture, and Youth Services Committee.
Okay, thank you. Review of meeting minutes. That's on me. Attendance.
For the record, we have a quorum.
Have a forum. Thank you.
Yeah, so you want to go over attendance, Rich? Do you want
Really
me to-
quickly, anyone online who's a chair want to introduce themselves?
Hi, Wendy Hewlett Betts, Chair of Land Use and Sanitation.
Okay. Anybody else? I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, go ahead, Jeremy.
All right, so I'm going to share my screen. And while we're on it, anybody know about Hazel, Stacy Ann? Let's see, Janice.
I spoke to Stacy Ann. She was gonna try to go online. She was not feeling well, and then Janice was en route.
And Hazel sent us an email, Jeremy.
Okay, so she's coming or she's not, Hazel?
He doesn't feel well, no.
Okay, so yeah, I just need to know if I need to mark him excuse. So Stacy Ann will mark excuse if you don't hear, if she doesn't not able to join. This is en route, and then Rabbi is coming late. He spoke to me earlier. All right, so let me share my screen.
I'm gonna wait for Stacy before.
All right, can you see my screen?
No.
No,
Not yet.
Okay. How about now?
Yep.
All right, so so if you go to the website, meetings tab, minutes. So so for example, what just happened? Health committee just happened. So you can see here the attendance. Unfortunately, when I saw this, I did notice that there is somebody up that could be up for removal. But you can see it's on the website. It's under the minutes tab, right? Ideally, this is the last page of any minutes that are, but as soon as I get them done, I'm now sending them to Chris and said, please publish it. So at least we have this, a record of the attendance. And if there's any errors, please let us know. When it comes to this committee, the last thing I have is April. I mean, aside from tonight and what I just did. So you can see it's all here. Now with the leadership committee, that's the only unique thing. We don't do names because we do committees represented, because if the chair can't come, the co-chair can serve in their stead, like Veronica's doing tonight with economic development, or Hazel did last night for transportation, or last month, not last night. And then in terms of full board attendance, that was another issue, or something we spoke about with Rich about. So it's been brought to our attention, there's some other people who had attendance issues when it comes to the full board. The people that could be removed for non-attendance, Junior Campbell, right? So he has 5 excused absences. They are excused for what it's worth. He's very good about letting us know when he can't attend a meeting. Lisa Soto, also 5 excused absences. She has pretty good excuses for those, at least, especially in the fall. And I won't say that publicly because I don't know if it needs to be everybody's business. But I know Cynthia could speak on that if necessary, or vouch for that. And then Janice Walcott, she had 3 unexcused absences in a row. So that's for the full board. There is one other person I noticed for committee attendance. That,
We lost
I
you.
think we lost you. Oh,
We better find him.
can you hear me?
Yeah,
Now we can.
yeah, we lost you.
Yeah, I mean, did you hear what I said at the end about committee? There's one other person I noticed with committee that could be brought for attendance, but other than that, that's it for now.
Okay. All right. I think we should probably reach out to these three, Junior, Lisa, and Janice, and have a sidebar with them.
Junior's actually in front
I
of
mean,
it.
obviously, yeah, we're gonna talk to him. He's here in person. But we
Yeah,
can
it
do it
was-
after the meeting.
The staff has done so already. I know,
Okay.
Junior was gonna try to come tonight.
he is.
Yeah.
He's here.
What's that?
He's here.
Okay, and Lisa, I think was gonna try to come tonight. But I don't know about that. And then Janice should be on her way, right?
Yes.
All right, cool. Thank you very much, Jeremy.
Okay.
Any comments or questions on that?
I do want, okay, so we are now in May. I don't want to say it would be foolish of us. I just think that I don't want to seem overly dismissive of absences. I think attendance is important. I've been with you 100% on the importance of following up and attending meetings. I don't think that now at this point in time in May would be the time to kind of say, you know what, let's bring the axe down 1 month before the end of the term. Because at this point, it would take us 3 months to remove someone. I also don't want to sound overly, permissive, but I think that now is not the time for us to look at removing what, potentially 5, 6 people. We're in the middle of reappointments. I would say, we're not gonna find out who's reappointed till the end of this month. I think conversations with everyone to be clear on things is the best way to go at this point. And then moving forward, then we've got to be really, really firm, like keep very clear attendance, every meeting. And once you hit that threshold, then it's time to move on.
How about giving them a warning this month? And say, we're watching and we'll see, we're giving you a second chance. And let's see what happens starting in September.
So basically starting with a clean slate.
Yeah, yeah. But it's fair, but you've warned them,
Yeah.
don't try this again.
Yeah, because I do know for a fact we have 2 board members. One of them
And the baby.
had, so that's an extenuating circumstance that, like, if they're not even at their day job, I
Right.
wouldn't expect them to be at this job.
Yeah, I agree.
And then the other person, has been very good, like Jeremy said, about letting us know if they're out of the country and it's something that they do regularly, and I don't know, is there anything that says like total, whatever, unexcused? Is it total? I think I already made my opinion.
I'll take it up a notch, and I think this is up for discussion. What is an excused absence? I think that's probably the proper question to start September with. The new season. Because I think what ends up happening with Jeremy, what do you think? Do you think that you get a lot of 6 hour before conversations saying, oh, excuse, I'm not gonna be able to show up, can you excuse me? Or how do they come to you? So I feel like they
I
always.
mean,
come to
there
you.
is, some people will respond to the text messages, text message, scripts. Some people will call us, some people will email us, some people will text us normally, or they'll just say something to Cynthia, like Hazel sent that email. I didn't see it yet because I haven't checked my email since 5:30 maybe or something. Sometimes the people will come to us after me like, look, I had an emergency, Jeremy, or Yeah, I mean, that happens too. Otherwise, some people will be very upfront, like, look, I forgot, mark me absent. Sorry, it won't happen again.
Well,
That's kind of rare though.
Yeah, go ahead.
maybe we could characterize it or give them medical, family issue, things like that, where they just check off a box. You know, medical reason, family issue, something like that.
But there's always gonna be an excuse like there's an emergency. They're not gonna tell you, I just don't feel like going. There's gonna be an
Then
emergency.
you could also say inadvertently
We're
forgot.
gonna get them a doctor's note from them. They're saying this is an emergency. They're gonna say emergency. I don't wanna go. There's times when sometimes I don't feel like coming, but I do come.
Yeah, well,
So I
same.
would feel that some other people say, oh, I don't want, I'm not gonna go all the way down there, you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff. But they're gonna say it's an emergency. But I don't use that word too much when I don't wanna go somewhere.
Right. But if it's medical, you may, and it's gonna be long-term, you may ask for a doctor's note. Other places
Are
do.
we,
I mean, I don't
can you
know.
ask for a doctor's
I don't
note?
know.
I think that's walking a
That
very,
may
very
be-
fine
that
line.
may
I
be
don't
too
think,
much.
yeah.
I think we can institute a 48-hour rule for excused absences. Oh, Jeremy, I can't make it today. Not at 4 p.m. day of, or 24 hours before, because I can't make it due to a scheduling conflict. I really don't like when folks email Jeremy 3 hours before saying they can't make it.
Nope.
I'm sorry. We're adults. No offense.
So, if I may quote from the bylaws, this is page 7 of 17. Board members shall notify their respective chair and the board office of an absence in advance of any meeting, including full board meetings, for the absence to be considered excused.
Oh, so there's no time on that.
But it says before the meeting.
Yeah, I know, but
In
before
advance.
It could be 5 minutes
yeah,
before.
before it could be 5 minutes, right? I mean, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, I think we gotta be reasonable, like, you know, like say somebody, yeah, they're giving birth or somebody in their family died. I think we gotta be a little bit.
No, I know. I think what we're asking is, can you give us at least a day? Because if not, everyone can just say 4 hours before, I can't make it, and oh, it's an excused absence, and then we're doing rolling excused absences. You know, just to keep everyone fair, right?
Yeah, like if you have maybe family coming up, you're gonna know that, like I know it, maybe weeks in advance, and I'll say, you know, family, something.
Well, I heard that we have a 36-hour requirement for some registered speakers for online meetings. Maybe 36 is the right number.
I mean, I'm opening up to leadership right now to if like, what do you guys think?
sorry.
No, I mean, for you, thank you. That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
But what do you guys think?
I mean, keep that 36-hour time frame,
What, to call out that you're not coming to a meeting?
36 hours before.
I don't, well. But the thing is, even if you make it 36 hours, oh, it's an emergency, like you can't tell, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? It could be like an hour before the,
I know.
God forbid something happens.
Well, if you have
I-
emergencies in the year,
Exactly, it gets old, it gets old, it gets
Yeah.
old, you know, you gotta do
Yeah.
something else.
Like, I think at this point, moving forward from once
Yeah.
September rolls
Mhm.
around, emphasis at every meeting, you know, attendance is expected, required, reminder, more than X number of unexcused absences, whatever, or a total of blah, 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 may bring you up for removal.
okay, I'm fine
I
with
think
that.
doing that at every meeting is a
Yes,
I mean, it's just-
reminder.
It's to
And it says it
enforce
on the
it and make
application,
people
when you
aware.
first start for the board, you gotta give a certain amount of hours to
Yeah.
the community board.
I
And
think
they
that's
ask you when
fair.
they interview,
I mean,
you give this.
Yeah.
to Cynthia's point, we're at the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah,
So we might as well, the absences only are reviewed for that current fiscal year. So we're gonna start the new fiscal year and we'll be more adamant and stress the
Yeah.
fact that
and we'll make a
attendance
point.
is necessary.
Yeah.
And also that remote attendance should only be under extenuating circumstances.
Yeah.
And stress that because that's something I've
Yeah.
always had an
Yeah.
issue with.
I second that
Yeah.
too, because
Yeah.
I'm making my business going.
All right. So I think, like everyone said, we're gonna take this up in September.
Okay.
All right.
Wendy, Stacy, any thoughts?
No.
No,
No.
no thoughts. I think you're doing the right thing, waiting till just, discuss it further. September fiscal year's ending. So it doesn't make any sense to make a decision now.
Right.
Up next, Jeremy.
I had a question
Go ahead,
for
Stacy.
Jeremy. Jeremy, what's the law with remote meeting? Is there a law?
Yeah, so the state open meetings law is what
Yes.
allows members to participate remotely.
So,
And the only people that would count towards quorum is people who have a medical disability, some
Thanks.
sort of medical disability.
Thank
Some
you.
board, some board don't.
right,
have-
so to be clear to what Jeremy said, you can attend remotely. But if your presence is, if we need an in-person quorum and people make it a habit of attending remotely when they don't have a medical disability that would qualify them to count towards quorum, then you will not count towards quorum if you're just attending remotely because it's easier.
If I may ask a question, Jeremy, aren't the open meeting remote laws supposed to change by 2026? So it's
Supposedly.
coming
Yeah,
up.
but it
Yeah.
can be renewed though, or it can be changed.
Yeah, I know, but
A lot of boards don't have remote.
yeah, and what happens in 2026? If they say no more remote, then everyone can't use,
Then it's no more.
then it's no more remote.
Yeah.
But like Jeremy says, they keep kicking it back. so
Yeah,
you never
but I
know.
knew 2026. Okay. Next.
And Rich,
Yep.
if I may, I know we're gonna kick this down the road, but also the bylaws are absent on who determines the excusal, who says that's allowed. Historically, we treated the chair of the committee or the board to yes, okay, mark him excused or not.
Right,
That's something else to think about.
yeah.
Why not the chair of the board also?
The principal.
Yeah, the chair of the body should be the determining factor, I think.
Right, okay.
Okay. Agenda?
Let me pull it up. So we're gonna be meeting, so everybody knows, we're gonna be meeting at Einstein this month. Next month, does everybody know where we're meeting?
Center Light.
Center Light.
Sorry, Center Light.
Center Light, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
Cynthia, the guy from Center Light never got screwed.
I don't think he's there anymore. I think he.
He isn't.
No, Chris is looking into it.
Okay, thanks.
But at this point,
Oh, yeah, it's already.
I gotta close the record.
Hold on, I'm having problems finding the full board agenda.
I got every patient because of that.
Okay, hold on. Almost there.
Right.
All right, so just remember, if there are certain people I've not heard from, if they're going to attend this meeting, we do have there is a parking facility available to us, but they want to know this facility, unlike Einstein, they want to know who's actually using the parking lot. So they want to know your make, model, and vehicle number
That's for June though,
Like-
right?
Yeah.
for June.
Within a
But
block,
we
so-
want to get on top of it now
You know.
because I want to, I think we'll be okay. I don't think we have normally 35 vehicles, but you never know. So this is, what's May 22nd?
Yeah. Yep.
So can you everybody see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, move it up a little bit, yeah.
Well. All right, so we're gonna do 6:45 again, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
And we're gonna keep the public hearing.
Yep.
I gotta make sure did everybody enjoy Bronx House?
No.
Well, I enjoy the Bronx House,
Same.
just not for board
When is it-
meetings.
when is it-
Not the
all right. Mark, it's horrendous.
When it's 200 degrees outside.
The sound was
Sound was-
off,
Yeah. it was-
the screen, you couldn't get a clear picture.
Yeah, There are issues with it, but it was, some people
Yeah.
appreciated the location.
It's just the sound.
Yeah. The acoustic.
The acoustic.
Yeah, that's,
Okay, so when we got to the gallery last month in leadership there, and I made it very clear that I had to step away from my computer. A member of the public did ask to be put in the gallery. So let's just, if that happens again, you know, name, organization, or bylaws require name, organization, and the issue they wish to speak about. So I need to know those 3 tidbits of information.
You're saying if they say that today?
If they say it today, because I think they just said they want to speak, but they didn't say what they want to speak about.
Okay.
Make sure we get name, organization, if any, or you know, who are they representing themselves, or they represent an organization, and the issue.
Okay.
And we can ask for that information from what I've looked at in terms of opinions from the State Committee on Open Government.
Got it.
So, all right, so public hearing, gallery, elected officials,
Yep.
chair's report. We're going to continue we're going to limit discussion of motions to 4 motions that were voted on in committee.
Mhm.
Okay, proposed bylaw amendments. So
Article
Commissioner
5,
Tripp.
Section 3, we voted on in the meeting to
Yeah.
accept the word changes or the grammatical changes. Does it need to
so
be?
I'll work on the language of that stuff. I did ask Harriet to listen to the tape. She typed up the motions the best she could.
Right,
And then, yeah, the committee voted to merge economic development, public
Yes.
safety.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put this under the bylaw section,
Okay.
since
all
you
right.
voted
and
on
we
it in
be
committee,
voted
right?
By the full board for, do they want?
Or
the
David,
slips?
that's
That's gonna go under the bylaws.
Yes.
yeah.
But
Can I
so-
ask for a point of clarification? Is that going before the full board?
Yes.
based on? Here's my clarification. Based on what you as a committee worked on and decided that if it's a last minute thing, you can fill out the slip and then the chair decides? Or is the vote going before the committee what a board member not on the committee pressed in regards to not doing that at all, but simply having the slips, and anyone who fills out a slip then automatically gets to talk, which is going before the full board?
Oh, that's a good
We
point.
did not vote
We didn't
on
vote on that.
the public hearing part of it. We decided to leave the motion of Brian.
I just wanted to bring up something about that, what was eventually voted on. If we play it out, regardless of how the board votes, it doesn't change anything. If the board votes in favor of what was voted on with regards to that, then nothing changes. And if the board votes against, then nothing changes. So there's no real, and if we bring it to the board, you know, just as Jeanette has questions now, people are going to have questions. Why are we voting to not change anything? So I don't understand why we would
Right.
Yeah.
bring that to the full board.
So just for, David Levitt, he's a board member. He brought up that he wanted to preserve the right to fill out a gallery slip before the meeting. And he requested that that's what we bring to the full board as a vote.
I think that that is a moot point because the decision that you made as a committee was the slips are remaining. So the board does not need to vote on it.
I think what David wanted essentially is to codify it.
Right.
Well,
It means like to. It shouldn't.
Right.
Okay,
So wait, what was voted on that bylaws?
nothing.
That particular, we have made a suggestion that if somebody was not able to fill out the online in 36
36
hours, that if they needed to speak at the full board prior to the meeting, that they could speak at the public hearing, fill out a slip and speak at the public hearing, which is at 6:45. I thought that was a that was agreed upon by the committee at the time, but then unfortunately, David wanted to make sure that his suggestion was brought before the full board for a vote. So that suggestion of the public hearing and the stuff being, that way people don't have to worry about not being heard. And if they didn't get to register 36 hours in advance, we have the public hearing prior to the full board, they can speak then, because there's no particular topic for that public hearing.
Can I just say something? Can we just leave it alone, this? Yeah,
Listen, I want to know what was voted at by. I'm keeping 36.
I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
when you're
thank
ready.
you. Yeah, that's all, because that's what we have to put on the agenda.
So let me tell you what Harriet typed up based on her listening to the recording. Motion to have the full board vote on that gallery slips be available to the public immediately before the full board meeting. I mean, the wording there's a little off. I can tweak that, I think.
That was that your intent, Sandra?
Yeah.
Committee, that's my question, right? Because
Yeah,
before we put it on the agenda, I want the leadership of that committee to agree or disagree
so
to.
we agreed to
Okay,
that, right?
okay.
Right?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm not sure.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. But I don't want you guys to vote, put something on the agenda that we vote on that isn't what your intent was, right? So I'm trying to clarify.
So I listened to the recording. And this is what I was able to glean as a motion. To protect the use of the gallery slips at each monthly full board meeting, members of the public wishing to speak in the gallery will fill out gallery slips up to the time of the meeting. Gallery members may speak at that meeting on any community issue not limited only to what's on the agenda, which to me is redundant because we had the public hearing. I
Like Ryan said.
I agree with Ryan.
It doesn't change anything. If we vote, it stays the same. If we vote against it, it stays the same. So it's not really doing anything, but.
But he wanted that vote, he wanted,
So I'm gonna also agree, I agree. First of all, in committee, you did solid work. Thank you. Right here, it's taken us several minutes just to try to figure out where we are. If we introduce this to the full board without all the background, it's gonna be a
Gonna take-
1 hour discussion and we're gonna wind up right where we are now. Okay? And that's exactly what's going
that
to
we don't
happen.
want.
So I think, yes, you leave it alone. David made it very clear what he wanted. Sometimes the answer is no. And I am also going to say at some point, because with the different things that we're hearing from the start of this meeting, there are things that we can go in and as a board, look at the bylaws and fine tune those bylaws so that we can have more productive, less toxic meetings. But the gallery slips, I'm 1,000% in favor of the community having a voice. But that doesn't mean, sometimes you're not happy, okay. But if you're going to come up and even if you are going to, I'll try to choose my words, direct your comments to one particular member of the board, okay, that is valid. But perhaps you can express your concern, express a corrective measure, and leave it at that. What I don't like to see, and I hope we can correct in our gallery sessions, is when certain individuals use it for target practice and to blatantly disregard the code of conduct and disrespect the process as well as the board members. That's what I wanted to say.
I think it's also important, if I may, to remember where this even came from. The David's suggestion. David's suggestion was born as a response to the 36-hour registration proposal. Now, She can come in. Sorry, you know, the way I see it is that we decided to implement the public hearing portion. Number one, because it's a requirement of the city charter, but number two, as a compromise to the fact that we were recommending a 36-hour registration requirement for the gallery. I think that then to say we're keeping the slips for the gallery, plus we're keeping an open, you know, an open registration thing for then now we're duplicating things. I think that for me, my personal opinion is the public session, the public hearing is the moment for people to sign up in real time with whatever issues they have, and the gallery session should be reserved at 36 hours. People still have the public still has its opportunity to speak. Maybe it's 15 minutes before, but it's still an opportunity to speak. And then the gallery session can be a little more refined, structured, and organized. And it's an opportunity for us to say, okay, this issue, you're bringing this to us, we know about it. Now we're ready, as Veronica mentioned at bylaws, now we're ready to address it because you gave us 36 hours and we have an idea of which way we're gonna go with this particular issue. So those are my thoughts and I'll leave it at that.
Anybody else?
Because if we do know the 36 hours in advance, someone might say, you know, this really should be taken up by the housing committee, or this should be taken up by the health committee or whatever. Because sometimes I will tell people, if they ask for time for a presentation, I'll say, look, you could have all the time you want at the health meeting, but only 2 minutes at the full board. You know, which would you prefer? And then they would rather.
And if we know in advance, if it's a topic that we're not astute on, we have the opportunity to research it so that the member of the community could actually get information faster. Because they could get it and everyone else could get it at the full board meeting instead of, well, we have to get back to you. So the 36 hours makes sense for many different reasons.
Thanks, guys. Jeremy, the calendar.
Wait,
Someone
did you
has-
finish?
I just, sorry,
the agenda?
No,
we're not finished.
Agenda.
the agenda, I'm sorry.
I just want to point out, Sandy, so I figured out what's the issue with, let's see, what was it? Oh, come on. Can everybody see my screen?
No,
Yeah, I'll zoom in.
All right. So I'm just trying to find the chair's report. So, okay, so Article 5, Section 3, that's what you guys voted on is already in the bylaws. So I don't know. I mean, I think that was a mistake. That was a mistake.
Did we vote on that at the full board?
Yeah, but
No,
we
no.
accepted, somehow it got in for the last meeting.
Yeah, I think it was just like a follow-up. This is the thing that the board voted on 2 years ago, right?
Yeah,
But they only meet when they have business to conduct.
no.
Article 5, Section 3 was about,
Change.
And I'm looking at-
who can call, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
who can call for a committee meeting? Because right now, the onus is on the committee chair as the only person who can determine that the committee is going to meet.
That's that's
He-
April.
Yeah, right?
This is what.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So the addition was that
corrupting me.
the committee as a whole or the executive board, if, let's say, I don't know, who's here? Let's say Jeanette decides, you know what? We're not having an ethics committee meeting this month. Jeanette has that authority. The additional language about when the committee that means that if the committee goes to Jeanette and says, hey, I know you don't want to have a meeting this month, but we think it's important that we meet on this issue, that issue, the other issue, or the executive board can say, you know what, Jeanette, we're hearing a lot of issues about this or that, we strongly suggest that you have a meeting this month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so it
That's what
wasn't
that
just
was about.
grammatical changes, it
Right.
was the insert of the committee also being able to make a
Yeah.
determination to the committee chair
Yes.
about having the meeting.
But that's what I have as our current bylaws.
Yeah, it's something that, it was from, I got it from April.
If it's there, let me just.
Yeah, that's the April one, right? I
If
think,
it's
look at
there,
the
then-
very beginning.
Okay, so we're good?
Yeah,
Let me
Hold on, we're
double- let me
checking.
just-
It's if you look at the April agenda, and I can pull it up, I have it up in front of me. That
no,
was,
I had the April bylaws that
But
were.
I thought
we-
that did we actually vote on this? Cause I know there was an issue with us about saying grammatical.
Yeah, it's in the bylaws.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
in there?
that's
Okay.
that was all done last month.
Right, then the point is moot.
Well, okay, let's move on.
right.
We spent too much
And the-
time on bylaws.
Yep.
Fine.
Right.
Sorry.
So
By
there's
the
two
right.
motions, right?
Yep.
Okay. So merging of economic development, and then the one we just spent a lot of time talking about.
Right.
Put the agenda back up, please. Thank you.
Now, chair's
Yep.
report.
Yeah.
Did you move on from the chair's report?
No, he hasn't gone there yet. Let's go back to chairs. Go ahead, Chair.
Yeah, go ahead. That's where we got off topic because the bylaw proposals were there.
Okay, so, Puerto Rican parade. I wanted to mention that.
Bronx
Juneteenth.
Puerto Rican Day Parade.
Yep. June 14th. The Juneteenth event. Summer youth,
Wait a
work
minute, let him do
Oh,
one at a
sorry.
time because,
I'll just do shorthand. All right. That's
Sure.
fine.
Uh, the summer youth, worksite application. This won't take long. I'll just run through them, don't worry. The Grand Street Settlement Survey.
That might be education.
Okay,
because
if
that's
Alex wants to mention it in education, that's fine.
Yeah.
I just wanted to put it out there to make sure that we're spreading the word.
Can we say,
Okay.
can we do CB 11's third annual Juneteenth event?
Yeah.
Because I think it's
Of course.
fabulous.
Yeah.
You have this tradition.
And did we want to talk about DRI?
yeah. I mean, yeah. They would. I'll put it under my report. It's up to you. Report my report. There's a website they want us to share,
Okay,
so I'll put that on there.
that's right.
But is there? I don't want to waste too much time, Cynthia. But do you want to talk about some of the things that came up Tuesday night? I know Jeanette had some concerns about that. Do you want to say that for later on in the meeting? You know, or like who's
I
allowed
think
to sit at the
Jeanette
table and
already-
stuff like that.
Jeanette already kind of expressed her opinions on it already.
Well, I think it's important that,
Yeah.
a couple of things. I think, and it's been discussed before at other meetings, and I think that, I don't know, perhaps, I need to look into what Kira mentioned about NYC Learns, because she said that we now have access to something. I think it's really important that we get some sort of proper training, even if it's a brief one on parliamentary procedure. I know Naomi was working on something at some point, but, you know, and I've mentioned it before, it is so important for us to try to be consistent. I know here at the full board, we're pretty good, and some committees are better than others about running meetings a certain way. I think it's important for us to be super consistent in terms of how we're running meetings. Like, perfect example, we have a board member here today who sat at the table when he came in, and I asked him, you know, to sit in the gallery because he's officially not a member of the leadership committee. He's a board member. But, you know, the rule should be only committee members should be sitting at the table. And he understood it, he respected it, and he, you know, moved. I know that yesterday we had Tuesday, we had an issue, and, you know, we have to be consistent, and as a team, we're supposed to try to respect our committees and our committee members and our committee chairs. So
What do we do in a situation like that?
I just think that,
I think she's saying they should know better.
I
Yeah,
also think
absolutely.
that you
Right.
should have more written structure in place.
Yeah.
You know, Cynthia brought this up once and we were supposed to go back to our respective committees and talk about it. But I've been doing a lot of thought on one, whether or not an ethics and disciplinary committee is important or not important, or necessary or not necessary. And I've been giving thought to what would make the most sense for the community board. At one point, Cynthia mentioned that perhaps it would make sense for ethics and bylaws to join.
Or you could have two separate ad hoc committees.
But let's finish.
But let me finish, please, because what I believe is the work we do could be streamlined if you had the two entities working together as one group, where we really looked at the bylaws, where we saw what had to be changed or refined, or where we saw what needed to be added, it would give the entire board a much stronger foundation to function on. And then we have to look at, I did some work which I'm going to present in my committee on Monday, where I looked at the existing flow chart and I made some suggestions and recommendations. I think working together, we would be stronger and more effective and give the entire board a stronger foundation. And then we really need to look at what complaints are brought. What I thought was interesting is we have a forum where a member of the community can bring a complaint against the board member. I believe there's also room there for a board member to bring a complaint against another board member. However, board members can bring complaints against the community. So that's a bit imbalanced, and I don't think that's something that we can address, but where we can address it is in the structures that we provide. And then actually it gives, for example, Harry in his position of sergeant, it gives him something to stand on when he's addressing people that are violating our rules. I think that we could do so much more that would be so positive and would be empowering, not just for the board members, but for the community members as well. So it is my thought. And
I have a quick idea. I think in September, we should hold a training. Before our full board meeting with the new folks, with the old folks, this is how you run a meeting.
yes,
And then
Yeah.
we'll play it out and then go from
Because-
there. Because I think that's what happens every year. We come into it and like, oh, I forgot what to do. And then, because, summer funk, and then we have new people, they don't know the rules. I think a September training before a full board meeting and leadership, I think we could take a day out and meet here. And you could just,
I think that's a great suggestion, because sometimes people take things for granted and sometimes people just do not know.
yeah, it's not intentional at all, I don't think. Okay, Jeremy, let's move on.
Okay.
Some people didn't want to do ethics and bylaws.
Yeah, Jeremy, yeah.
I'm come on. Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'm multitasking. Trying to.
They didn't want to have.
While he's multitasking, was anybody like anything that the rabbi brought in a snack for all of us?
Thank you, Rabbi.
I'm going to respond to my friend here, Richard, who used to be my friend. And this will be another.
Oh, yes.
will be my friend.
Who, me?
So. I think I've been in transportation 30 years. I'm not going to change a leopard spot. How I run a meeting, I make my jokes. I say, let's go to 3, let's go to 1, go to 4. When is Mr. Policeman going to slap me on the arm because I went from 1 to 4 and I went from 4 to 5 and I called on this one and that one and I forgot to call on that one? I'm sorry, Richard. I'm sorry, Richard. You can't change leopard spots.
I think,
And I'm not going to sit here and I'll tell you right in front of everybody here. I'm not gonna sit here and make this like a board meeting for Citibank.
I think,
Plain and simple.
I think the intention
I'm aware of
is, and I don't wanna go back and forth, because.
Right.
Finish
Yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
Thank you.
Let me finish speaking,
Go ahead.
okay? One at a time.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say.
I'm not gonna come with a suit. I sometimes come late, which I apologize to because I have things in the synagogue to do. But to tell me I must come in and say, introduction, and this and that, and now I gotta go to 2 and 3, and if I wanna go to 6 before the 3, can't change the leopard spot.
Yeah, but we
And
gotta
I've
follow.
been doing these meetings for a long time and I run a synagogue, so I'm not a little 10-year-old that you gotta tell me how to run a meeting. I hear what you're saying. I'm not arguing you. I think I am listening to you and saying I should be equal to everybody else. I agree. And if that's gonna happen, I'll come in and be the head of Citibank here and say, we now start the meeting and there'll be no jokes and we're going straight through the meeting, so on and so forth. That's on me.
I think the intention of the training is for folks to know how to deal with folks online. I need the sergeant of arms to, prepare when folks come out of line. I don't think it has to do with us. I think on the contrary, year over year, we are so much more united than we were 2 years ago, so much more united than we were last year. So I think our cohesion is the least of my worries. I think my biggest worry is how we're reacting to outside forces. That's my biggest
Okay.
issue. So it has nothing to do with I don't like reading, for example, the conduct statement, but some people do.
Right.
That's
And I still read that now. But here,
Yeah.
just something, and you put this on Harry now. Something, now here is something, how does Harry react?
Okay.
I looked for something here, and I said, it says refrain from unpleasant or disparaging remarks and other actions. But now I'm gonna get Harry a referee outfit, and he's gonna have to get
You
a
know what?
whistle.
Are we gonna give him a gold bill?
He's gonna get a whistle.
But me and the chair had that discussion already about going forward in the next session of the.
Right, but you see what I'm saying, that subject, I know there's freedom of
No.
speech, and I.
No, there is freedom of speech, but bashing the board members and bashing staff members of the committee board 11, I don't think that's right. Exactly. So then, going forward, if you do that, you will be muted, and if you keep on, you're gonna be told to leave. Because we're not gonna do that no more. First of all, when you're in the gallery, you're talking about the community, how we can help the community, how we can serve them better. Not to bash,
I hear exactly what you're saying, so I was.
bashing chairperson, bashing, the district manager or just a board member in general, that's not for that. If you got a complaint against the chair, the sergeant at arms, or anybody on the board, send an email to the district manager and we'll discuss it accordingly.
Excellent.
I'm tired of it, Rick, I'm serious. I'm
Okay,
tired.
I hope you understood what I.
No, yeah, of course. No, yeah.
I was just.
Because sometimes in
I
these
think-
meetings, I wanna lose my top, and I say,
Yeah.
let's calm.
So I think the idea of a training is for guideline purposes. We're not gonna pick anyone out for not following the letter of the law, but we want folks to get a general idea of how to.
Smooth meeting.
Yeah, that's all.
No
Let's-
bash it. If you wanna talk about garbage can,
Let's keep it going.
if you wanna talk about something, we're good with that.
Jeremy, if we can continue.
Thank you.
I think we'll stop the chair's report.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Cynthia,
Yeah,
are you gonna, talk about Maddie's report? Or is she gonna be able to present? Or
I'll
did
check.
that happen already?
She did
She
present.
did it last month.
She did it last month, and she will be at the health fair
Yeah, so.
with the report,
Yeah.
and will interview people and bring the surveys even further.
Yeah, she did it last month Wednesday.
She did it last
But
month.
she'll update the full board?
She did.
She did.
It was a full board.
She did already, okay, all right.
Jeremy, what's next after chair's report?
Yeah, I'm pulling up.
Thank you.
Economic development's meeting next week.
Yeah, I think a bunch of the meetings are next week. I think the only ones who met were health and bylaws and one more.
Yeah, Chris, Harry, do you know if we got anything for economic development currently? This is old.
Should be a renewal. Do we have something?
I think Chris said there should be a renewal.
I never got nothing.
Do we know for a fact there is or not, or you don't know offhand?
I emailed all you guys.
Okay, do you remember what offhand it is or no?
Yes, I think if I'm not wrong, it's Portofino.
I'm pulling it up now.
It's Portofino.
Yeah, it's Portofino Cafe.
That's the only one that you know of, right?
Yeah.
You got CC on that?
Yes, because the cannabis that they sent it wasn't for our community board, it was community board 12. And actually, the gentleman called to follow up. And I did a quick research and said, you sent it to the wrong community board, it's community board 12.
So I will just write Portofino. And then based on how they vote in committee was how we'll amend the full agenda.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So
Yes.
any other motions that we know of? No, right?
For economic development in general.
In general, or anything that needs to be added to the agenda. So this is old.
I
For
think
housing
scratch
amenities.
everything out because they're not meeting yet. So I think folks will give updates as they happen, right? Because I think everyone meets next week and the following week.
Yeah, so we had community board 11 day at Yankee Stadium last week. That went very well, to my knowledge. Lisa Villela went in our stead. She did send me a photo. I was going to reach out to the students or the minors, asking for their permission so we can probably publish that photo. Usually we get something from the Yankees. I got to follow up to see if we got something from the Yankees on that. But yeah, all 5 of our awardees went this year, and which was nice. And we got rid of all the tickets pretty easily. We only had 125 tickets this year. And Alex, I want to thank Alex for his help on that. Alex helped me with distributing the tickets this year, which was very nice. Because usually it's just me. I mean, I'll have Harry and Chris help me, but it's not the same thing as a board member being involved.
Jeremy, can we go
No
back
thanks.
to community development really quick?
Yeah.
From committee chairs that are here or online, are there any committees that community development and budget priorities has not had a chance to meet with yet on?
I don't think he's come to housing. Ryan, have you come to housing?
Well, remember Ryan left that committee.
Oh, yeah.
He was there. That
Oh, he
was the
did?
first one. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, cool.
Nobody came to me.
Oh, Ryan wants the budget.
Transportation?
Yeah.
They're afraid.
So you still need a combined meeting, all right, and parks, I think, no? Parks and, okay. All right, thanks, sorry.
Yeah, but in terms of anything else that we can think of on the horizon, for any of these committees, no, right? Ethics is meeting next week. Housing and land use and sanitation is meeting next week. Economic development is next week. And right now we just know Portofino's, and then we have the bylaw amendments. So there's only 2 amendments at this point in time because one is basically already enacted. Cynthia's report, my report. 1609 Colden Avenue. I was informed by one of the neighborhood residents that they are selling the property. I also got a new board member bio up, Lisa Villela's bio, and I'm working on Harry's. And attendance, I'll just bring up what I brought up for everybody so that everybody's aware. Attendance is going to be published every month following every meeting.
Did you send in your thing?
So that should be it for this agenda, right?
Did you put
Jeremy,
it?
can we add I'm sorry.
The elections, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Ooh, sorry.
We forgot that.
Yeah, we got to take nominations. So that should be,
For the Sergeant of Arms and Treasurer.
yeah, so I will get that. Thank you. Good call.
And Harry, we got your bio, or his political statement.
Jeremy,
Yes.
can you go back to treasurers for a second?
Yeah. Right there. 8.
Yeah, so, me and Cynthia spoke and we should put on there about the 2024,
2023.
2023 Juneteenth event deposit return. Or refund, I'm sorry. Juneteenth refund that was brought up to us.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you're amending the report, right? Your report from 2023.
The
Yeah.
June report, yes.
Okay.
So just so. Should I explain
Public
this
is
here?
very aware.
Yeah, so what happened was June is when we go dark. We don't get our June bank statement until like the end of June or the beginning of July. So at that point, there was a bulk deposit that was made, which included the Juneteenth refund, but we had gone dark, and when I went back to do the July and August report, I did not include that in the June report, so that was left out inadvertently. So I'm going back to amend it to include that deposit and the breakdown of the deposit, so you can see, as I've done with the deposit from last year. We'll have a breakdown of it, not the deposit. I keep saying deposit, but it's a refund.
Yeah.
And we'll see the refunds in there along with the other donations that were given that were part of the deposit.
The security deposit refund, that's what
Yeah.
you bet. that-
So I just want everyone to know that we've heard talk about it. There was nothing inadvertent, nothing untoward done. It was just an accounting mistake on my part, which I am going to rectify. Just so everyone is aware.
Thank you for
And
that.
not even like an account, it's
No,
more
it's
like
more-
a data entry.
Yeah, it's a time lapse.
Yeah.
Time like
Yeah.
issue, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jeremy,
Yeah, Wendy.
can we add the guests that are invited for land use, housing, and sanitation?
What do you mean add them?
Add them to the full board? Or no?
In what way? What do you mean?
Because we have is it Department of Buildings? Is it them?
I'm not sure if they're coming anymore. Right,
Oh,
Jeremy?
okay.
They want to know what exactly we want them to present.
Which I don't understand because we went through that before. So, I mean,
Well, I think
obviously they don't want to come. And we're
Well-
not in third grade. I don't need to make it any clearer.
I mean, I don't know if it's that clear cut, but I know Rich, you and Philip had a conversation.
Yeah, it was just, I just told him to come. He said, yeah, and then this.
I mean,
Oh.
obviously you're offering your services because you feel like people don't understand your website. So wouldn't you come with, a mock project breaking down how you go about your website? I
Yeah,
mean, I've expressed that. I mean,
Yeah, he wanted case studies. I know I gave a couple ideas, but
Right.
I guess that was shot down, the ideas. So
so then we don't need them because I'm not about to. That's ridiculous.
I know that I do believe the constituent has been bothering me about one of these issues. He could sign up. He's going to come to the meeting so he can clarify exactly what his concerns are for the committee.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
And, yeah.
Very well.
But we also had somebody, Bronx Works, I think it was Bronx Works. Was it Bronx Works or housing? I forget what it is. They emailed today or called today, and I sent an email to Rich and Juanita that they want to come in July instead. So I know, Rich, you're going to talk with your committee about that, right? But was there
Yeah,
another guest?
Oh,
Was it Cloudburst? Is the Cloudburst thing supposed to happen? Or something, Cynthia? DEP?
I'm sorry? Yes.
DEP.
Cloudburst update, yes.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
July wouldn't be an issue either because I'm working on getting a presentation regarding Eastchester Gardens. So, because they haven't come to us as of yet.
Okay, so it's going to be DEP Cloudburst update for. Oh wait, no, that's not it. Yeah, I'll get that in there. I'll put it on there just so everybody's aware. So you talk about what happened at your committee. But if everybody wants to go,
Right.
that's going to be on Tuesday at 6 p.m. Whoever's interested in maybe attending that themselves.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's move on, Jeremy. I think we're almost done with the May agenda, right?
Yeah.
So we can move on to the calendar. I don't think anything's left with the agenda.
If you're in leadership, can you turn on the camera, please?
Yeah, please, if you're on leadership, like Harry said.
That would be
Okay.
safe.
And
Stacy. Ryan.
No, Ryan's left.
Ryan is not a part of leadership.
Oh, I'm sorry to see you go, Ryan.
Welcome to put on your camera if you want to.
From the babies.
All right, so I'm gonna pull up the calendar then. You were ready to move on to the
Yeah,
calendar?
let's go to
Is the
calendar.
agenda done?
I think, is the agenda though? Done. There's a question,
Does
right?
Rabbi have anything?
Did you have anything for transportation? I think DOT didn't want to show up again,
Well,
right?
DOT showed up and we asked them all the questions and they're supposed to get back to Mr. Jeremy and his associates with some answers.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Which,
Sorry.
which, Jeremy, did they get back with any answers?
I know, Chris or Harriet, do you remember? I know they're both here. I know he sent an email about, so Attic Avenue has been something on the radar for a long time. A lot of constituents have complained to me about that. More recently, Hazel complained to me about Attic Avenue between Holland and White Plains Road. It's very bumpy. That is on the schedule. It is scheduled to be repaved this year, but it could always get bumped. So keep your eye or mind on that. I'm just trying to see what else.
We spoke
I
about.
got an email.
Road and
I
White
spoke
Plains.
to you about something, Jeremy.
Yeah, so I think I got an email about that. So hold on. So maybe I should just publish these emails. So we got a few updates actually. So there was a request for traffic control at the intersection of Astor and Bronxwood. A traffic signal has been approved. The work was already completed. That was April 25th. So that is new.
That's good.
They're looking into the sign request. I'll just publish these, if that's all right.
Okay, and Mr. Chris, as we spoke at that meeting, we need a letter to, if it's MTA or whoever's in charge of the lighting at those bus shelters or whatever they're called on White Plains Road under the train. Did that ever happen, Mr. Chris?
Yeah, I'm expecting you to write it out for them.
Okay, I could write it. That's easy. No problem. Thank you, Chris. We spoke about the left turn, the Ryan left turn. They respond about the Ryan left turn, and then you respond about Stillwell right turn.
Yes, that's the other email I have in my inbox.
Okay? So I guess they responded to both of them. So DOT did do their job. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. So you want me to share the calendar then, everyone?
Please.
Okay. All right, so first up, education, 7 o'clock, first Wednesday.
So remember, we did these already last month. So
Yep.
unless there should be a major change, we all agreed to this last month.
Yeah, and I'd have speakers coming in,
For your date?
including
Your date?
the 10th,
Okay, good.
including Dr. Boudreau to talk about the health center. There are 2 other speakers too. I'm just going to talk about veterans' rights and whatever. So.
Okay. And there's no need for bylaws next month, or there
Yes.
is?
No, we don't know this. Let's TBD. To be determined.
You
All
got a
right,
business this year, Sandy.
I know, right?
It's
Yeah,
Also-
transportation.
I just
Am
real
I?
quick, if there is gonna be a bylaws, we were talking about it, it may not be put before health, because the last 2 times we've done that, we've run over.
Right.
So we may have to find a separate date for bylaws if we need one, but we'll let you
Right.
know.
Well, or the day of ethics, since there's a proposal there.
But the issue is we're running over into the next
Right.
meeting, and we don't wanna do that.
Well, or maybe there's a combined meeting.
Stop pushing it, it's right?
Jeremy.
Hey, I just put it out there. I know some people suggest that. I think someone there tonight has suggested it, right? All right. So anyway, in the meantime, transportation, do we know that you guys are gonna have a meeting, or you're not certain, Rabbi?
I would say a good possibility we'll have one.
Okay.
That would
Let
be
us know sooner rather than later, please.
And that'll be good to discuss the DOT responses, probably.
Okay.
Or non-responses, right?
Okay. So health, we already talked about parks. Janice? I know we need to get back to Parks about budget consultations. I don't know if that happened.
Yeah, we need to do that. I've been asking for a while.
Well, no, they've reached out to us. I don't know where, Harriet, where did you and Janice leave off on that? Do you recall? I know you're trying to get in touch with her, maybe. Harriet, are you there?
First to
Okay.
Harriet,
Sorry, I stepped away for a minute.
So I know you were trying to touch base with Janice about, maybe you guys can talk tomorrow about when we were looking at, Parks is the only city agency that every year proactively reaches out to us to meet with us individually about budget priorities. So that's what that meeting is about. So can you two touch base tomorrow and square away a time? Today?
Okay, no problem.
Cynthia, question, do you want to put in the calendar, even though it's not meetings about the Juneteenth
Yeah,
and the,
Juneteenth
and the other?
and the parade.
And the parade.
15th is here. What day's the parade?
The 14th.
Okay.
Where's Juneteenth?
You just showed us down on the bottom.
Oh, it's
I'm
there.
sure 1 week at a time we're going for. All right, so I'll follow up on that parade. So the budget thing is separate from the Parks meeting on the 7th. Just keep that, or the 12th. Just keep that in mind.
Okay.
Ethics, housing, economic development,
Say something.
leadership.
Where's the Puerto Rican parade? Not Morris Park?
Grand Concourse.
We're gonna have it on Morris Park. Have to change that, Rabbi.
Well, you can talk to the association, if you want. They had do the Columbus Day parade. They could probably help with that.
You should put it.
The parade is organized by the borough president.
The Puerto Rican Day parade?
We put the flag on the window too, right?
Yes, it's organized by the borough president, same as Dominican parade.
I don't believe that's the case, actually. I mean,
That's
Cynthia, I
what
don't believe that's.
That's what I used to remember when I used to work at the borough president.
Well, it used to be organized by my colleague at CB9, and then since he left, I think it's Moss does it, Cynthia, right?
Yeah. That's okay. Let's.
Okay.
On the
Yep.
20
All right. So leadership is going to be on the 23rd because Juneteenth is on the 19th, right?
Yep, that's what we decided.
And then community development, the 25th, and the full board and public hearing on the 26th.
Chair of community now.
Stacy
Which-
Ham.
Stacy.
Oh, okay, okay, cool. All right, sweet.
So we do have, because we like to publish calendars in advance now. I put July. Does anybody know they're going to have a meeting in July?
I think the answer is no.
Okay.
Well,
There is a request for housing.
25th is the one.
But we might not meet. I mean, that's one, I don't think we can decide that now, but to Cynthia's point, we usually do something in
In
the summer.
August, hopefully, so
Yeah.
for the new,
Yep.
for the new members.
Yeah, I don't think we have a date yet, but
Yeah.
yeah. it's toward the-
Well,
I don't know.
it also
why.
depends upon the new members appointed. because
Yeah, exactly.
Full board.
But the National Night Out is on the 6th, and that's the only thing I have then for August or September, July and August, besides the holidays.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
So we'll publish those.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. We're going to the gallery session, and folks, we have a motion cup at the end of the meeting, so please do not leave, FYI. All right, gallery session. Anyone inside want to talk? 2 minutes of your time?
Roxanne.
Anybody? Go ahead. Hold on, we can turn.
I got it right.
You got, okay, go for it.
Go, Roxanne.
No, wait.
Inside first.
Hold on. Go ahead, Diane.
I'm so grateful to board members past and present who, when confronted in fall 2023 with a major lapse.
So hold on, stop, unmute, please. Unmute, I muted everybody so there's no interruptions. Sorry about that.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, you can start
Start
again.
again, please.
We'll give you the full time.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm so grateful to board members past and present who, when confronted in fall 2023 with a major lapse in conduct at the Just Home public hearing, did the hard work of reviewing and strengthening the code of conduct. Now it's time for the hard work of enforcing the code. At the bylaws meeting Tuesday, 2 members of the public violated the code. One was responded to firmly and calmly by both board chair and district manager, muted, given an explanation, and stopped from disseminating false information. Watching the video later, I was so encouraged. There was no drama. There was disagreement, yet it was handled smoothly and respectfully. Not so for the other speaker, who, simply because she disagrees with them on procedure, openly shamed new board members, one of whom had just joined bylaws, for, she claimed, not understanding how the board works. She chastised board members for habitually coming to meetings unprepared. She shamed another committee member, accusing him of being directed by the district manager to create roadblocks. She threatened board members for inviting a backlash that would destroy their reputation. She twisted the words of a committee member who'd had to leave early, claiming he'd used the example of a kids' game to mock public concern about stoplights and speeding. She threatened board members again, accusing them of wanting to harm her, but harming themselves, saying, "I'll guarantee you, I'll make sure everybody knows what you do at this bylaws committee." A meeting that's recorded and free on YouTube. She claimed the 4 bylaws members were somehow undemocratically overriding a not yet taken vote of the full board. In just 2 minutes, she made threats, disrespected and devalued differences of opinion, made unpleasant and disparaging remarks, and spread false information all over a board procedure. The board needs to not allow this member of the public to make these repeated violations of the code of
Thank you, Diane.
Thank you, Diane. Anyone else inside want to talk? 2 minutes. We want some.
Christine.
Go for it.
A question
Yes.
and a comment that I want to make. Question is, number one, is housing and in the
Land use.
land use committee been merged?
Not yet,
Officially?
but we're meeting. We're still just meeting together unofficially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the comment is about the last board meeting, full board meeting. It was brought to my attention after the meeting, that a certain person of the community, a member of the community, turned around and chastised people in the audience.
Yeah.
Now, there were issues, with sounds in, the auditorium. So I wasn't sure who she was speaking to, but then, somebody brought to my attention that the comments were being directed towards the people that I was sitting with. So I think it's inappropriate to allow that person to continuously, person who claims that, that people should be heard and all of this stuff, that she constantly tells other people to shut up, right? Is allowed to direct her comments to people that she should not be. Her comments should be directed at the board members. Thank you.
Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the question.
All right, I'm gonna move online. Roxanne, let me know when you're ready, so we could do the 2 minutes.
Unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yes, I was trying to, but it didn't permit me. So my question first is David Levitt bylaws going to be allowed into the agenda as voted on Tuesday's meeting?
Are you asking? Are you asking?
Yeah.
I don't think it was voted on.
It was voted on and it was second.
However it was voted on will be put in the agenda to the best of our ability.
I think,
Okay.
yeah,
Sorry,
go ahead.
please.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, because I'm saying that's what was kind of irks me sometimes at how no one seems to follow procedure, because if they voted on it and it was second, why is it that now at the leadership is being readdressed again when it should already have been put on the agenda and for the full board to whether vote it up or vote it down?
Okay.
And then I noticed like say people be prepared, but I just, and this not this committee only, but I just look at the minutes, and the last minute for leadership was October 2022.
Yeah, that's definitely on me for the past year.
No, but I'm just saying that people are saying they want to be prepared, but I mean, deal with the fundamentals, at least with the minutes. Minutes are important because this is why meetings go on for so long, because people don't seem to recall what was discussed or what was voted on the prior meeting, which seemed like, I mean, I just jumped into this meeting. Now, regarding the direct attack against me, I mean, I thought that's against the code of conduct, but the same two women, I'm not going to say their name, who at the full board meeting last
30 seconds.
were laughing behind my back, and since the sergeant arm did not enforce the code of conduct, I had to do so because I couldn't speak over all the laughter. And it's a shame people so grown-ups behave that way, but that's on them. Secondly, the misinformation of the full bylaws meeting. Anyone who's at that meeting or who could view the video knows that there's an agenda. It's very sad that they're focused so much on me. I have a life, so I cannot focus on them, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think Ryan, you're up next. Your 2 minutes start
No.
now.
Unmute yourself.
All right. I should be, right? You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, good evening. I'm asking this committee to enforce our code of conduct. We have multiple members of the public who routinely break the rules that we have set out, but there's no action taking. Two are the most egregious, but I'll focus on one whose relationship with elected leaders, like the borough president, have severely impacted our ability to do the work we're tasked with and could cause harm to vulnerable members of our community. The issue at hand is Ms. Roxanne Delgado's repeated use of discriminatory remarks. In September 2024, she sent an email to the BP's office complaining that a suggestion I made was taken up by the Transportation Committee, where she implied that my input was not welcome as a, quote, non-Latino. The BP's office simply relayed this request to the board without noting this discriminatory content. I emailed the BP's office clarifying that I'm not concerned for the harm this could bring to me. Rather, I recognize that while I'm highly privileged in this society, I live in a diverse community with people who are much more vulnerable to this sort of discrimination. BP's office has not responded. In the March meeting of the Economic Development Committee, during a discussion about a potential liquor license, there was a question of a proprietor's English proficiency, during which members of that committee have confirmed to me that Ms. Delgado said, paraphrasing, that someone should not be eligible for a liquor license if they don't speak English. This is clearly a breach of our code of conduct, which compels me the participants to respect the quality, diversity, and differences of opinion, refrain from unpleasant or disparaging remarks, and abstain from all forms of harassment. This conduct, in these instances and many others, demands a response. I would ask this committee to vote to bar Ms. Delgado from speaking at community board meetings until she provides an apology to the board, myself, and the community that directly addresses these issues and adheres strictly to our regulations going forward, with reinstating speaking privileges being subject to a vote. This limitation would be legal under the open meetings law, and I've got an opinion that I can link to. A public body may permit the public to speak.
Thank you, Ryan.
Rules and procedures. Yeah, all right.
All right, thank you, Ryan. Up next is Kay. Kay, whenever you're ready.
So I can address all those lies. I've been
Okay, you got you, Veronica, or whoever has the controls there. Probably because when I requested on you, they're able to do that. It's obviously a violation of her conduct statement. Veronica, can you unmute us or mute the office? Or Cynthia, whoever has the controls.
He can't hear you.
No,
now you can.
Now
There you go. Because Jeremy muted us. Go ahead.
Whoever
Well, I obviously had to mute everyone.
It's fine, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Whoever speaks out of turn will be taken off the meeting. Simple as it is. We're not doing this no more.
So
we're not little kids.
And quickly, I think Jeremy has the mute off function, so that's what's going to end up happening. We're just going to get all muted. So
Everyone who's hold on, Rich. Let me clarify.
Yeah.
Chris has the function. Harry has the function. Whoever in the office is controlling that keyboard has the function. Wendy has the function. Stacey Ann has a function.
Okay.
Anybody's for this committee.
Okay. Thanks. All right, Kate, you're up next.
Hi, sorry to bother you guys. I wanted to wish you guys a nice evening. And as far as Ryan, if Ryan's still listening, I have contacted the borough president's office due to a few different incidents that took place in this community of bias against my people, the Jewish people. It took them a little while to reach back to me, but I've been working with 2 different people there for them to investigate, and they have been communicating back and forth. Just be a little patient. They will get back to you, especially since this is official, the community board. Mine was just personal incidents that I happen to bring up. So I just wanted Ryan to know they will eventually, or he could reach back out to them. They'll eventually get back in touch with him. And that's my 2 cents. I'm so sorry that people are so rude at the public meetings. I know because on the Upper West Side in the 80s, I attended Community Board 7 meetings a few times. I didn't live there, but I dated someone there and I was involved with the Chamber of Commerce doing street fairs and stuff and fighting gentrification. And it was it was like the Wild West. Sometimes those meetings because of the gentrification and other things that were happening. So yeah, I do understand how these things happen, but I'm sorry they're happening to you. On that note, I just want to wish everybody a pleasant evening.
All right.
Thank you, Kate.
Kate.
You're welcome. I'm going to mute myself.
Okey-dokey. Anyone else online want to say something? Going once, going twice, sold. Okay, so that's the end of our gallery session. We're moving on to motions. Does anyone want to take up Ryan's motion?
Second.
No. I'm not saying. I'm not motioning it. Does someone want to does someone want to motion what Ryan suggested?
Ryan, repeat what your.
He's not part of the committee. That's the problem.
What is the motion?
I
need to know what the motion is. I mean, I heard his explanation, but I need to put it into words.
I'm not. He's not on committee, so he can't move.
You can ask him to.
Yeah, he can ask.
But
Yeah, right.
He's not gonna make the motion.
Hold on. If I may, can he just post whatever he has it typed off to my knowledge?
Yeah, and I'll read it.
He can just post it in the chat. That'd be the easiest thing, right?
We can all read it. Can we see the chat?
Yeah, Ryan, is that I can request to unmute, see if that's okay. I mean, right, Rich, what do you want to do?
Yeah, he can repeat it.
Here, put it in the chat.
I mean, someone has to read it and motion it from committee.
Okay, so the motion is to bar Ms. Delgado from speaking at community board meetings until she provides an apology to the board, Mr. Barthel, and the community that directly addresses these issues and adheres strictly to our regulations going forward. With reinstated?
I guess would reinstate her.
With reinstatement. With reinstatement.
Second?
All right, now I'm gonna do roll call now. Oh, well, who is against it? Raise your hand. I'm gonna go against it and abstain them for it.
Well, Rich, nobody officially made the motion yet, right?
No, I think Cynthia just.
Cynthia read it.
I read the motion, so.
And I'm gonna second it.
Thank you.
Okay, so Cynthia makes the motion. For the record, Cynthia makes the motion. Wendy seconds it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna do the vote. Anyone against it? Okay, hold on, because I have to do the thing. Jeremy, please help me out.
Yeah, Alex, his hand is up. Alex?
Against, okay.
Okay, then abstentions.
Okay, any abstentions? Me. Anyone else
I'm
abstaining?
gonna abstain.
You know what?
Oh, wait. I give that count.
One at a time. So for the record, Rich Reynoso abstained and so does Veronica Castro.
Can't speak, sir. All right, everyone else is for it, so, okay.
She's against. Jan.
Okay, I think this is everybody, by the way.
We didn't discuss it.
Yeah, that's
Discuss it.
one of the reasons why.
Yeah.
I mean,
So I'm gonna have a question. I don't know. Okay, here's my question. I don't know.
On themselves.
Hold on 1 second, man.
sorry.
Sorry.
I don't know. As it stands, I don't know, as it seems as community board members, we have we have a lot of responsibility, but very little rights. I don't know if we can request that Roxanne Delgado apologizes to a particular board member. What I do think is that we can make the request that she respects the code of conduct and the structure of the board, and not be disruptive, discriminatory, and continually making disparaging remarks. We can make the request that she apologizes for that prevalent and overall behavior. I think that might be a more appropriate motion, because I don't know that we can ask a community member to apologize to one specific board member.
So while I hear you, Brian had a motion, someone read the motion, we have to go through the motions, right?
Okay.
So you're saying that's a different motion, right? So that's something else. So if you would like that, let me finish this vote and then you can motion that.
Can I just bring something
Go ahead,
up?
yeah.
This motion's not on the agenda. Are we allowed to actually have this motion?
I will ask Jeremy that, but if you read Robert's Rules of Order, you can motion whatever you want on the floor. And as long as you get a second, you can vote for it, you could go against it. That's been a timeless thing. It's only a thing here for some reason that we think we have to put it on the agenda, but you can be on the floor and motion anything.
Okay, I just want.
No, I hear you, I hear you, but it's just, I never understood that. Okay. Yep.
So in my discussion, because I'm not sure, so I'm asking.
Yep.
I don't know if Cynthia, you can answer that for me.
Say that again.
Can we actually request a member of the public to apologize to a specific board member as well as the full board? Or can we simply make the motion for them to apologize to the board?
I mean, I
don't know.
No, I think what we're doing is we're motioning something and it may not work, right? We could motion anything. We could try to anyway, but it may not work, right? But the intent's there. We've had folks apologize and that's never worked out, right? We had the board members, and that's passed a couple times in the past couple of years. That never happened. So I think Brian had a motion. We read the motion. Now we're doing the votes. It looks like it's gonna die, by the way, by my count, because I got 3 against so far and 2 abstentions. What's the roll call, Jeremy? What's the total?
So I'll tell you right now. So
because if I have 5,
are you, well, hold on. Are you? So we have what? Who's against? All I had was Alex.
Yeah.
And I had an abstention from Veronica and an abstention from Rich. Is that it?
Yeah, and you have Sandy against.
And
So you got 4.
And
Janice against.
Okay, so then, okay, so hold on, I'll do it right now. So Cynthia's 4.
Yeah.
Rich is abstaining.
Yes.
Veronica's abstaining. Hazel's not present. Harry's 4.
Yes.
Stacy Ann is 4 until further notice. Economic, well, you can vote twice, but I know you generally don't. We discourage that. So, Veronica, are you voting twice, or
Just voting as
once?
treasurer.
Yep. Okay. Thank you.
So doesn't Wendy?
Alex?
Alex
is against.
Alex is against. Yeah.
I have a.
Jeanette's 4. So everybody's just voting once, right?
Yeah.
We're not doing this- Okay. Sandy's against. Wendy is 4. Janice is against. We have nobody at public safety. Rabbi is 4.
No, I'm abstaining. They didn't see my hand.
Well,
I have
it
a
would
question
help,
before
it
we
would
make
help
it.
if you were in the video, Rabbi.
He's in.
Veronica has a follow-up question.
He's sitting on his
Yeah.
throne. It's okay.
Before we make this final, how do we
If not saying anything.
intend on enforcing her not joining meetings? If she shows up, what exactly is the suggested process that we keep her from, I mean,
Ryan had some language from.
Yeah. No, Ryan. I mean, this Ryan had a whole protocol.
It's to bar her from speaking. It's not to bar her from attending. From
We
what I'm
can't
reading.
bar her from attending.
Okay,
Open meetings law guarantees that you can attend.
all right, then I read it wrong. I apologize. I thought it was barring her from the meetings.
Okay. All
That's
right.
why I wanted clarification.
Do
Okay,
you see, Jeanette, he likes your request. and could remove himself from being, getting like, he apologizes to the full board, not to.
We voted.
You want to vote again?
Yeah, because it's, we clarified it.
Okay.
Okay.
You can come to the
So-
meetings.
I'm sorry, can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, Wendy.
This is why the code of conduct to me is a joke. It's an absolute joke. And put me on the record to say I don't care. You know, it's because you have somebody, and it's not only her, it's other folks that from the time that I have been a part of CB11 that has shown disrespect to members. Okay, not just her, but we don't do anything. We just read a bunch of sentences and that's it. So when does it end?
They
So
go,
I-
wait, hold on. They go after us, but we can't go after them. They
But
make complaint against us.
that's why, and I believe, and I appreciate Ryan for saying that we can change this. When, whether it's Roxanne or somebody else, engages in this behavior, it disrupts it, not just for the members of the board, but for the members of the community as well. I am proposing that we amend the motion to say, because all we're simply doing is not only enforcing the code of conduct, but amending it, saying that the motion is that until Roxanne Delgado makes an apology to the entire board, she is banned not from meetings, but from speaking. Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna clarify, that's what we were motioning, that's the motion right there.
Okay.
I would ask that this committee vote to bar Ms. Delgado from speaking at community board 11 meetings until she proves an apology to the board, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, okay? Jeremy, where we at with the vote?
We need to
We
revote.
We clarified it.
So-
First thing was,
I'm gonna say this straight, we said this from the get. This is what it said.
no, but we voted to ban her from meeting.
Changing it, he took out
No,
his
no.
name.
Guys, the motion is is right there.
Yeah, but there was a little confusion.
Yeah.
So if people are confused, they should retract their vote and let it die. Retract your vote.
No, we need to vote again.
No, retract means take it back.
Okay. And we'll
Everyone
start
take it
again.
back.
We'll take it back, we'll start again.
Jeanette,
Jeanette?
Okay.
are
Sophia.
you retracting?
Yes.
Okay, good. Jeremy, I got retractions. Cynthia, you retracting?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's retracting? Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna kill the motion
Okay.
because everyone's confused. I'm
Okay.
gonna re-say the motion.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna read it out loud again. Motion, I would ask that this committee vote to bar Ms. Delgado from speaking at community board 11 meetings until she proves an apology to the board, myself, and the community that directly addresses.
Myself. from the
Okay, I'll
board.
take out myself, to the board and the community that directly addresses these issues and adheres strictly to our regulations going forward. That's all I got.
That's it.
Okay. Anyone second?
Second.
Okay, I'm gonna do the revote. So, anyone against? Actually, you know what? Any more discussion?
No.
Rich?
I gotta have something.
Yeah, Chris, do you want to hear from staff? Because Chris has his hand up.
Okay.
Or
Sure. 2 minutes.
I'm just, quick question, where does, in this case, ethics committee enters?
There at
Doesn't ethics committee supposed to study this case? Because
No,
tomorrow I might wake up and accuse you for saying something.
I
Is it
think so.
verified, all these things that have been said? I mean,
I can, Chris,
so-
let me say, Chris, Rich, may I say one thing?
Go ahead, hurry, please.
Okay, so it is documented with this committee, with many of you as witnesses, that there was a false allegation of assault made by this person against the board member.
All right, thanks. Okay, so, the motion, as said, anyone against? One. Anybody else?
Hold on, Janice is.
Oh, yeah, hold on, John.
Everybody against?
Yeah.
2, Janice. 3, Sandra, Janice, Alex. Nay. Anyone abstaining? I'm abstaining again. Okay. Rabbi, okay. And the rest of 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you get that, Jeremy? I got
So
3.
is it the same as before? Is it the same vote as before?
Except me.
Because Veronica's 4.
Veronica's switched to 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Can't Ryan vote now?
No, because he's now.
No, he's no longer part of leadership. Stacey Ann's voted.
So.
Yeah.
All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 in favor of the motion. Do you have that, Rich?
I mean, I have
Okay.
2 abstain, 3 against. So whatever the opposite is 4. So do that divided by the total.
Yeah, so it's 6 in favor. So again, I'll read the names. Cynthia, Veronica, Harry, Stacey Ann, Jeanette, and Wendy. Those are in favor. Those are 6 names.
That passes then.
Thank you.
Yeah. And just to be clear, abstaining is Rich and Rabbi.
Yeah.
And against is Alex,
Janice.
Sandy, and Janice.
Correct. All right.
So motion carries.
Motion carries 50 plus 1. All right. So again, this is subcommittee. We're going to take this to the full board next Thursday. We'll have a full, I'm sure, lengthy discussion there. All right. Okay. Any old business? Any new business? Going once? Going twice. All right. Meeting call. Motion to adjourn the meeting.
Seconded.
All right. Meeting adjourned at 8:40 p.m.
Can you feel the feet?
1 second, please. Okay.
8:40.
Anybody want a compost pail? Oh, too late. All right. I got your compost pail, Stacey Ann, at the office, so I'll bring it next week if you're there. All right. Anybody wants a compost pail? We have it at the office. Still.
Hey, Jeremy, we can bring some at the full board if necessary.
Yeah, I think we should get rid of them.
Yeah, I'll bring some of them.
Yeah. All right.